Hello, today I'm in discussion with Joanne Staniforth, founder and owner of Medi Aesthetic Solutions. This is a medical distribution company that specializes in cutting-edge anti-aging medical devices. And today we're actually talking fakes, because I don't know whether you're like me, but luxury brands are desirable and there are plenty of fakes around. But we need to actually delve into the medical fakes that are out there. Hi Joe. So my first question to you would be, how are we regulated in South Africa?
So SAHPRA is our regulating body, and all the devices that we import, for example, we actually apply to SAHPRA for regulation. We have to submit all our specifications of the device, what they do, the brochures, everything, and then they will do the authorization or not. You know, it depends what you're doing, but everything that we supply is either MDR, medical CE, and or FDA. So generally we don't have a problem with regulations with our devices, and everything we sell is SAHPRA registered. We do not sell anything that isn't.
So Joe, would you then say that both practitioners and patients are at risk when it comes to counterfeit devices?
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, you don't know what you don't know. So a practitioner may not know or do the necessary research to see if the machine is a genuine machine. Doing the treatment with a patient can cause complications. Is the machine safe? Is it not safe? You could burn a patient, you could scar a patient. And so you have legal liabilities coming up on the side of the practitioner, and you have scarring on the side of the patient. And so it's such a concern to have these fake devices actually rambling around in the country.
In my day, fakes used to have like kind of a weird spelling. Say it was a pair of Chanel pumps, there'd be a double N. But nowadays, Joe, they are so blatant.
It's blatant.
The right spelling.
Correct.
How do you spot one?
Sometimes it's quite difficult. We generally know instantly, but some of them are really good. Some of the Tixels, for example, out there, they look exactly the same. It's only when you turn them on that you can actually see that they're completely different. And so it's difficult. And we almost troll the net looking for fake devices. And I'll instantly know if somebody says, oh, I went to so-and-so in Brackpan, for example, I'll say, oh, that's interesting because I haven't sold one there. So, you know, it's a constant trying to see what is and what isn't.
For the unsuspecting patient, if say you do your homework and you're going to a reputable doctor, I'm not necessarily going to go and peer at his Tixel machine.
Absolutely, it's very scary. We do have one instance of a very well-known practitioner in Cape Town who uses all of our marketing, and we are busy proceeding with legal recourse because he's using a fake machine, he's using our marketing, and it's unacceptable and it's dangerous.
That's actually quite scary. But then what about the clinical outcomes of these fake machines? The genuine machine will always give you a particular result.
Absolutely.
What about these?
Absolutely. These you'll find, whilst they may give you partial results, they're never going to give you the same results as the genuine device. And it will take much longer to get there. So, for example, you might need 3 treatments on one of our devices, you might need 6 to 8 to 12 to... I've had people going for hair removal on a fake device for 25 sessions. You know, I mean, it's kind of 8 to 10 sessions normally, maybe a couple more here and there, but we should be going for 2 years.
So Joe, I'd like to know how you present your machines to doctors and surgeons, and do you offer training?
Absolutely. So I'm not the greatest on social media and things like that. Most of my friends will know that, but I prefer a one-on-one. We do congresses, but I like to go meet the doctor, introduce myself, see what their setup is like as well. And I'm not a box stopper, so I don't want to sell them something that they don't need. So it's very much, I'm selling a solution as opposed to selling a device. It's very different for me. And we offer all the training. I do all the training myself on site. I'm a little bit OCD about that. But I just think that it's you have to walk the path. I want to know you, understand you, help you, train you, and be there for you in the end when you need something. Paola, the difference, it's so vast, because sometimes you'll find a machine that costs you 79,000 and the original will cost you over 2 million. So the freight, it doesn't even cover the cost of the freight. I mean, it's just ludicrous that people can think, oh, you know what, I don't have to spend 2 million, I can spend 79,000 rand. So logic has to come in somewhere. They're selling pico/diode combinations under 100,000 rand. Not only is it implausible to think that you could pay that kind of money, it's physically impossible to fit that technology, let alone two technologies, into the size of a tiny box. It's just not possible. Practitioner, like I said earlier, you know, you have the legalities creeping in if you injure a patient. But when your machine fails, there's nobody there to fix it. And very often we had an instance where a client of ours said, oh, you know, the one machine is a little bit too pricey. She bought 3 devices directly from overseas, not even through a broker here, and one by one they failed. And then overseas was, well, you'll have to send it to us, we can't help you. And in the end, she has 3 Dodge machines sitting in a corner not doing anything. And so people are really being misled. That Pico's become a buzzword, for example, in the industry. Same as Lorette from Domology gave me a call about the BBL advert that was a fake advert. And it's just ludicrous, the price differences. People need to do their research and their homework. It's kind of self-explanatory. If it's, you know, hard to believe, generally it's hard to believe. And it's generally fake machines tend to be a copy and paste version. So they haven't done clinical studies, they might not necessarily have done the R&D that's needed, and things can go drastically wrong. I know of a client of ours who bought 3 machines for the price of one of ours, and one by one they failed, and I'm talking over 1 million rand, and the distributor said, oh, well, sorry, we don't do the repairs. We can send it overseas to China for you, but it's going to cost you. And that was within the warranty. So you can lose a lot of money because you end up throwing good money after.
Clearly, Joe, then the salon owner or the clinic owner has to ask the right questions.
Correct.
And then what would you advise?
So I think you need to do your research. You need to, if it's something you haven't perhaps heard of, you need to ask them, is it SAPA registered? Could you send me the SAPA registration? You can ask that. You're entitled to see it. Is it medical CE? Would you mind if I saw it? Because remember, there's CE, there's medical CE. And they're very, very different. So ask the questions, ask for reference sites, especially with physicians and the medical fraternity. They can phone a friend. Phone a friend and say, hi, I haven't heard of this machine. Have you heard of it? Ask the questions. Don't be scared. You're entitled to. The machines cost a lot of money. And you should, you know, you also, where you can do a test, do a demo. I always say you don't buy a car without test driving it. Occasionally with very, very large, expensive equipment, when it's just come onto the market, it can be difficult. But ask to speak to a key opinion leader, perhaps a doctor overseas or a specialist. Ask the questions. If they cannot answer them, there's a problem.
So then what is the often made mistake? Is
lack
it
of
price?
research.
Yes.
It's lack of research, I think, because I think in any industry, some people have the gift of the gab, and they can sell ice to Eskimos. And because you don't know what you don't know, you trust them. And yeah, it's quite tricky, but do the research and ask the questions.
So my next question would then be for the young doctor or young practitioner starting off their career, a new clinic. They are obviously going to be under a budget constraint.
Yeah.
Would you then say that it's best to go for a multifunctional device?
Absolutely, because you need to get more bang for your buck and you want to try and increase your treatment offering. So, for example, I had a young lady who wanted to buy a Pico. It's a 3 million rand device. She didn't have any patients. And I said to her, I really love that you want to do that, but Actually, I just can't sell you one. Rather look at a Tixel device, because you could treat active acne, scarring, aging, pigmentation, and that device will eventually buy you the one that you really, really want to play with.
Yes.
So it's really, like I said, we try and offer a solution. We even give them a bit of guidance on how to run their business instead of buying it outright. Maybe you think of financing, you can write it off. You can have an operating expense for the repayment. You can write it off after 5 years. So we try and guide them a little bit, because very often business isn't taught at medical schools. Your peers don't often tell you these things, and so there are these little things that you kind of need to know. So we try and guide them that way as well.
Just to conclude, could you tell us where then one can purchase a genuine medical device without a fear of buying a fake?
You have to do your research. We obviously at Medi Aesthetic Solutions sell various types of equipment, from laser, thermal mechanical ablation, picosecond lasers. We have a new range. We found the holy grail of cellulite and fat, everybody. I'm just telling you. So do your research. When you look on the internet, there are some really reputable companies out there. Ask if they're SAPA registered. That's a big tell, because and there are only a few reputable companies within South Africa. You could probably count them on 2 hands. So it's not difficult to find them.